Hi folks, I'm back home, as you can see. I stepped off the trail on March 25th after 30 days on the trail. I had reached Erwin, Tennessee by the time word got out that the Appalachian Trail Conservancy had actually closed the trail and ordered all hikers off. A week before that, there was some urging from that association, and we were hearing a lot of rumors on the trail about services no longer being provided or available in the small towns we were passing through. In particular, Hot Springs, North Carolina, we were told there was no laundry, there was no hotels, there was no restaurants. The services were closed essentially to hikers. And it turned out not to be true. When we got into town, there was a very nice hotel we stayed at. Meals were provided for us in that town, a lot of carry out and things like that, different accommodations. But the hotel did our laundry for us, so everything was rumored to be bad, but pretty good shape. I chose to go on 5 1/4 more days to get to Erwin, Tennessee, about 120 miles from the border of Virginia, a little bit less than 120 miles, and see what the world looked like then. And by the time I did hike out at Erwin, the trail had been closed, so I got off the trail. I had a wonderful time. It was 30 days, 344 miles, not including the 8 that comes on the approach trail. Georgia was a very, very difficult state to hike in. I think all hikers can agree that's a baptism of fire when you get on that trail, and that's why so many hikers have to do low miles. My training paid off. I was able to kick up my miles right from the start pretty well. My body held up well. I'm very grateful for that. So I had a great time. I met some really great people, had some good hiking partners, Joe, Marty, and Andy. I am particularly grateful for your company in the trail, and we'll have to see. Next year, the Appalachian Trail Conservancy has allowed that 2020 hikers of the Appalachian Trail, 2020 through hikers that were registered, can maintain their registration for a through hike through next year or whenever the trail opens. And from the day they start resuming their trail, and they're allowed to come back onto the trail where they left off and proceed to finish their through hike. And if they do so within a month, 12 months of that day when they resume their hike, then they would be eligible to receive recognition as through hikers. It's a little technical, but there are close definitions to the definition between a through hiker and a person who has just completed the Appalachian Trail, because it can be done in segments and things like that. And some people do very well accomplishing the goal of hiking the Appalachian Trail, and they take years to do it. Through hike is a little different. You have 12 months from start to finish, and so there is another chance for me to resume my through hike, and I'm appreciative of the Appalachian Trail Association for this. Quick word about ending the hikes. The CDC was encouraging people to go out and exercise and explore our local trails and things like that, and then all of a sudden trails were getting closed. There was some overcrowding problems on the Appalachian Trail at very popular sites, and although we didn't run across any of it, they're further up the trail where McAfee Knob and things like that. The parking lots were full, people were overcrowding the trail. The trail services were being overloaded when trail workers were sent home. and so privies were in danger of overflowing, and there was a lot of concern about trail usage, so they closed everything. I think it's a good decision. Hikers have close quarters in a lot of instances. For instance, when I went through the Smoky Mountains, there was still a rule in place that all hikers had to stay in the shelters. Now, the shelters can be quite cramped, and you're in close quarters with others, which was not the healthiest thing at the time. We knew that. I looked on the website of Smoky Mountains National Park to see if they had changed the ruling. They had not. So we were forced into close quarters, which was, I think, unwise. But the National Park Service was slow to act to close these things up. Eventually, everyone did act. ATC ordered everybody off, and things are going to resume whenever they can. Our country's in a kind of a desperate situation now, and we hope it doesn't get worse. I've been home for a week. The reacclimation process has been a little difficult because up in the timber, I did not realize the situation the country was in. But I've made good faith efforts to bring myself up to speed and see what life is like now in America. So hopefully, maybe in a year this will clear and the trails will open back up. If it takes 2, I'm still going to go back. I still have yet to complete my through hike, and we look forward to doing so. Thanks for listening. Last thing I want to say is I got way behind in videos. I had some really, really difficult technical problems with my equipment, and I was unable to do what I wanted to do. I'll work on that in the meantime, and we'll catch up. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your interest and your listening.